AITO is a Chinese automotive giant and has had good success with its first M5 model and first-gen M7. However, they've never really been able to compete with Western hybrids, or even competitors closer to home, such as Li with its One Auto EV. Well, that was until now. Just this week, the company announced a new version of its M7, a car that's $5,000 cheaper than its predecessor, a car with HUAWEI technology, a car with driverless capabilities that can rival Tesla's. Yeah, you're in for a treat today. So, without further ado, let's take a look at what makes AITO's new M7 so great. So, I just mentioned that AITO are giants in the NEV space, but unless you live in China or are a fan of their cars, you might not have heard of them. So, who are they, and what do they do? Well, like a lot of other Chinese automotive companies, AITO is actually a joint venture between tech titan HUAWEI and manufacturing tycoon Cirrus. The idea is that these two companies are experts in one field, so by joining forces, they'll be able to get the best of both worlds with HUAWEI's technological proficiency and Cirrus's manufacturing power. Just last year, the company released the first generation of the M7 and did meet a good amount of success. But this new version is much more intriguing, for a few reasons. So, the exterior design for the new M7 hasn't changed too much, and unless you were to put the models side by side, you likely wouldn't be able to notice the differences. The body panels, wheels, and windows are all the same, giving the M7 a boxy, friendly look, one that we've gotten accustomed to with Chinese hybrids over the last few years. Dimensions are exactly the same too, with the M7 measuring 17 feet by 6 feet 2 by 5 foot 7. This is pretty standard for luxury SUVs, so no surprises here. Although there are a few small changes to the exterior design. Notably, there are new cameras on the front fenders and wing mirrors. You'll also be able to see a small black box on the windshield. This is a radar. Now, we'll touch more on this in a second, but for now, I'll tell you that this radar will give the M7 some serious driverless capability. Other great exterior design features include hidden door handles, which give off Tesla vibes, through-type taillights, and very stylish wheel trims that give the M7 a pretty understated look. The M7 starts to feel much more luxurious when you open up those doors and take a seat in the cabin. Seriously, the interior of the M7 is gorgeous. All of the seats are covered in high-quality leather, which adds both comfort and refinement. Oh, and did I mention that the front seats have heating, ventilation, and massage functionality? Elsewhere, the luxury dashboard is covered in wood veneers, which is something that only the most luxurious companies like Bentley and Aston do. The rest of the cabin is covered in high-quality plastics that match the color of the leather. At the Shanghai release, the featured model had a cream-colored interior. In our opinion, this looks great, but it certainly won't be to everyone's taste, and there's a good chance that you'll be able to swap this out for a more neutral black or white if you fancy. The interior isn't just a pretty face either. AITO didn't forget to mention that the M7 is an SUV, and thankfully, there is a lot of room to carry all kinds of stuff. AITO has stated that the trunk has a volume of 868 liters, and this can be expanded up to 1,619 liters with the seats folded down, depending on the model that you go for. With this much room, the company has even suggested that you could fit a bed in here, for stargazing. Where this car really shines is the new infotainment system. Starting with hardware, you'll be impressed by the central 15.6-inch floating central screen, which will control most of the infotainment options. Accompanying this screen is a 10.25-inch LCD instrument panel. Just below the screen, you'll find two wireless chargers, which look very similar to the new Tesla Model 3's design. Now, this hardware is absolutely fantastic, but the software behind all of this is arguably even more impressive. The new M7 will continue to use HUAWEI's Harmony OS operating system, allowing drivers to access all of their mobile apps and data directly from their infotainment screens. Where this system really shines is in just how secure it is. Harmony OS is simply better in this department than all competitors, receiving an SLD certification for security. Aside from this, the interface is easy to use and just makes the M7 feel all the more luxurious. What's more, this system is constantly being updated, and Wang Jun, who's the big boss over at HUAWEI, has even said that he wants to create a fully driverless car by 2025. Now, you can sign me up for that. The new M7 is also being treated to HUAWEI's new ADS 2.0 system. This safety system is one of the best on the market and has so many great features like lane change assist, autonomous parking assist, remote parking functionality, valet parking assist, and collision avoidance, just to name a few. But the highlight of it all is the new GABE automatic braking assistance features, which will automatically stop the car if it detects a hazard on the road. This feature makes use of Huawei's general obstacle detection network, and it will be interesting to see how this works in real scenarios. Some Tesla owners have mentioned that their car randomly brakes on occasion because the car thinks it sees something on the road, when actually there's nothing there. Hopefully the M7 won't run into the same problems. Huawei boss Richard Yu has also stated that by December, the M7 will be capable of navigation-assisted driving in all Chinese cities. So, what's powering this thing? Well, AITO has chosen to go with the best of both worlds, using an impressive hybrid setup. For the engine, AITO has gone for a 4-cylinder, 1.5-litre petrol engine developed by none other than Huawei. Accompanying this is a 40.6 kWh battery pack produced by CATL. Now, if you know a thing or two about batteries, you'll know that CATL is the undisputed king. The batteries are better than pretty much every other company, including Tesla and Ford, so the fact that the M7 will use CATL batteries is great news. And for an SUV, this thing isn't slow by any means. Exact figures haven't been released yet, but the old M7 produced 272 horsepower and could hold its own with other SUVs at the same price point. You can expect similar stats for the new version. Range is excellent as well. With a full tank of gas and a fully charged battery, you'll be able to travel a whopping 758 miles before needing to stop. This is better than the likes of the 2018 Jaguar XF20D, which has long been hailed as the overall king of range. So yeah, impressive stuff to say the least. The way that the M7 can keep going for so long is all down to its fuel efficiency. This thing will drink just 6.85 litres of fuel per 100 kilometers. That's 62 miles. Literally no other car can even come close, not even the Li Auto. Now, we'll have to wait and see if these numbers actually transpire into everyday use. A lot of the time these figures are produced using perfect scenarios, and the actual day-to-day stats are a lot more underwhelming. But still, this is very impressive. The starting point of the M7 has been lowered by some $5,500, making this affordable EV even more appealing to the masses. The most basic model will set users back around $35,000. The next step up will come in at around $40,000, and the top of the line model will cost just under $43,000. For a car with this many features, the price point will surely make the M7 one of the best value hybrid SUVs on the market. And we're seeing signs of this already. The new M7 has received unprecedented popularity. Within just 2 hours of the car being announced, over 10,000 pre-orders were placed. Now, maybe not all of these orders are going to translate into sales, but still, this is a very impressive figure. Those who did pre-order will have their car delivered next August this year. With such popularity, some experts are suggesting that the M7 will become a rival to the likes of the Li hybrid SUV, which is by far one of the most popular hybrids in China right now. It's also predicted that in just a year, AITO will be able to move over 100,000 units off the shelves, which will make the new model even more popular than the previous version. So, if you want to get your hands on one of these bad boys, you're going to have to move quickly or run the risk of being caught at the end of a long waiting list. So, that's everything you need to know about the all-new AITO M7 Hybrid. Ultimately, we've got all this information from the initial release, so everything is bound to look perfect right now. We'll have to wait for the M7 to hit the roads to see if it can live up to the hype, but from where we're sitting, we see it doing just that. What are your thoughts on the new AITO M7 Hybrid? We think it's an absolutely great idea, and if you agree with us, tell us the feature that you're most excited about. But if you're not so impressed, let us know why. And if you enjoyed this video, then you need to check out our recent breakdown of the new BMW M5. Its 0 to 60 time alone will blow your mind. Thanks for watching.